up? It's your man Hey Crack. And today, we're stepping into the private barber shop of one of R&B's smoothest voices, RL. From platinum vocals to precision fades, this one's about style, soul, and staying sharp.
More than anything, what has always kept me going was trying to represent my group, my family, Minnesota, my community. I mean, I'm trying to do everything I can to be the best version of me.
To groom somebody who is constantly in the spotlight, does that put any additional pressure on you?
Not at all. The sauce, I love it.
Trick James in the building, celebrity barber to the stars.
Hey, man. I don't know about all the celebrity star stuff, but I'll take it.
Yeah, that's what's up. So how did this craft find you?
Man, got tired of my mother cutting my hair. So simple, a lot of barbers deal with, you know what I'm saying? And man, started cutting my brothers, and next thing you know, bro, I was gone.
Now, what was it about the way your mom cut your hair that made you decide that, like, yo, listen, something has to be done about this, and I'm gonna figure it out myself?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man, moms didn't do a bad job, but it wasn't crispy. It was this guy in my neighborhood, man, named Terry White. He was just getting everybody icy around the hood, man. So I was like, I think I could try to do that. I'm gonna try to do it myself. Give moms a break. Okay,
now for everybody's watching, it's like, yo, that name Terry sound familiar. Where was Terry White located?
Albany, Georgia.
Okay, so that's where your Superman origin story begins. So take us back to the time when you was growing up, Albany, Georgia. What were the hairstyles looking like? What were people going crazy over?
Man, you already know what it was, man. It was that Gumby. It was the Gumby, man. Bobby Brown, the Kwame joint, the high top with the gold strip going up the middle. You know what I'm saying? It was the Gumby and the high top, man.
Yo, the wild thing about the Gumby cut, right? Like, depending where you were and what part of the world you're coming from, you either thought it was the coolest haircut of all time.
Right.
And I'm one of those people. We've interviewed people in this series that like hated the Gumby, and it's the one they want to see not come back. Did you have a Gumby yourself?
Heck yeah, I had that Gumby. Did you know that Bobby Brown said that was an accident?
That's what I saw.
Yeah, I was like, bro, you got the whole world wearing an accident, but I had to have it. I had to have it.
But I think, some of the greatest things materialize, especially within our culture, is just dope mistakes.
Yeah,
You think the first person that got a part in their eyebrow, you think they wanted that?
Nah.
He was probably talking, and he laughed, he got zeked. You know what I'm saying? And next he's like, yo, it's kind of fresh, rock with it, King.
Yeah. Had everybody getting the whole joint done. That's why I don't have no eyebrows now. You know what I'm saying?
How long did you hang on to the Gumby?
Man, bro, it was a season like everybody else. Probably about maybe a year and a half, 2 years, you know what I'm saying? Because it was rocking. Bobby was hot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was blazing. He was the king at that time.
Yo, I think, like when you bless the world in such a way that God has to take your hair at some point. Like, because it's crazy when you look at the old videos and how iconic that look was. Yeah. And now you see Bobby with the low joint, you know what I'm saying? It's like, God's like, oh, man.
Hey, man, it happened to us all, man. Father Time's undefeated, bro.
Every lap.
Yo, every
Let's
lap,
take
bro.
that trip to Turkey.
Straight up, I ain't doing it.
Now, to groom somebody who is constantly in the spotlight, does that put any additional pressure on you? Because this person is a walking billboard for you and your abilities.
Not at all. The sauce, I love it. I love it. Just the fact that this man is going to be in front of the world, dude, in front of any and everybody at that point in time, and all eyes is going to be on that beard that I created. I love it.
Word.
It's like head crack. It's like crack.
And especially like when you see somebody get compliments, whether it be somebody famous or just a regular person around the way, like what does that do for you on an emotional level or on a spiritual level? Because barbers are therapists and confidence boosters for a lot of people across the globe.
True. I mean, at the end of the day, man, compliments you get them. They mean what they mean at that time, depending on who's giving it to you. If that makes any sense, because you're a barber, you get them all the time. If you're pretty good, if you're pretty decent, it just depends on the person and the setting at that moment.
Got you.
Yep.
Now, how do you balance style with creativity and maintenance. You know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes you want to send somebody off into the world with something that looks dope, that'll pop, that'll be signature. But some cuts, some styles are high maintenance. So how do you create that perfect alchemy to where like, all right, you're free to go into the world and I don't have to see you for like a week and a half?
Right. Like I said, man, it's moments. It's moments that getting ready for that big stage. At the end of the day, it depends on the stage. You coming in for the work week and getting a haircut? Let me hook you up. You're getting ready for your wedding. You're gonna look that woman in her eyes, and they're gonna look at these pictures for the rest of their lives. Got to get that guy right. This that home run hitter. You know what I'm saying? This the one you gotta say, hey, bro, I'm gonna take you to the moon. I don't know, I'm gonna take you to the moon like this again. You know what I'm saying? Let me get you right.
Word, man. Because, like, you know, people don't really think about that component about, you know, like sometimes the first time someone sees somebody, especially if they come in straight out of shop, you know, you may be like 45 minutes post-cut, right? Everything's still crispy, beard still shining, like hair still got that, you know, that tint to it. And that's what pulls people in. Like, oh, they was looking so good the first time I saw them. People don't really think about the origin of that energy and where it comes from.
The energy, yep.
You guys are like the batteries of confidence.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yo, cats be walking to the shop, head down a little bit, walk out, chin up high. You know what I'm saying? Looking bulletproof.
Correct. I done seen them transform in the mirror. Like, hey, bro, look at them. They come in like this right here, halfway through the haircut, they licking their lips, doing the LL Cool J the whole nine. You feel me?
That's real. Now, like, anybody can have an off night or off day. I mean, like in any field, whether you're Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, whatever. Trick, have you as a barber ever like fumbled on a cut?
It's funny that you asked that because my guy RL would not let me live that one down. I remember he had his show. I think it was in Minnesota. He was going home, and I messed around and nicked him. He had to wear a hat. I don't know if y'all gonna ask him about that or not, but hey.
We got to.
Oh, man. Hey, he let me live, though. He let me live, but boy, he ain't gonna let me forget.
But y'all still locked in, though. That means a lot.
For sure.
Yo, and that's crazy because anytime, you know, sometimes when you close your eyes and you think about a person and the way you remember a person, in my head, I don't think I've ever seen RL with a hat on.
Yeah.
How bad was it?
Man, that was pretty bad, bro.
Like, what are we doing? Like Nintendo 64 cartridge? Like,
Nah. It wasn't that bad, but it was bad enough for him to go buy a hat.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Man, so out of all of the, you know, different styles that have come and go, like, you know, we talked about the Gumby. What's a style that you never want to see come back again for no reason?
Bro, I'm very versatile. I'm very I love moments. I love history. So with that being said, I don't think there's anything that can't come back and I'd be like, dog, I don't have appreciation for it. The peewee, the rat tail, everything, the gummy, the mullet. There's nothing, man. Nothing.
I saw something the other day on social media. A guy it was a mohawk, right? But it was like sideways. It almost looked like he was like Friar Tuck. It was weird, man, because it went like over like just the arch.
Oh, interesting.
And when you get weird requests from clients, because I'm sure you've gotten some, how do you talk your client off the ledge and be like, yeah, I don't know, bro?
I don't.
You make it happen.
I go all the way in.
You're an enabler.
Yeah, man, I'm going all the way in. And by the time you get out that chair, you're going to have so much confidence in that haircut. If you had enough confidence to come here and ask me for that out of the wall, off the wall haircut, man, bro, I'm finna take you to the moon. I need you to have that same confidence when you walk out of here with it, man. I don't want you to move, don't budge, don't change your mind.
Okay.
Change their mind.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm with.
See, and that's how you know you're confident in your craft and what you do.
Yeah.
That's legendary. When you think about tools, tricks of the trade, things that allow you to do your job to the highest level, what are 3 tools that you got to have in your kit every time you step out and do your thing?
Okay, you got to have those Andy Masters. That's your polisher.
Okay.
You got to have a good wall clipper that's going to go through the bulk and get all the hair off. And then you got to have my go-to is them Andys, T-outliners. Boy, I tell you, you're going to look like a clean yard just got sliced. You hear me? You hear me? Eat the cake, anime. I'm going to slice this guy. Yeah, that part.
You should be on the other side of the camera doing interviews, man. Like, yo, man, you got swag, man.
Thank
so
you,
listen,
man.
We're gonna bring your celebrity client in here,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna see you do your magic in real time, man.
Okay, say no more.
Here
let's
we go.
Get it. All right, let's go.
Man, the legendary RL is
up,
here in
man?
the chin. Peace, my
Hey,
brother.
what's up, man? Thanks for coming through, man.
Yo, thanks for inviting us into your space, man. Now,
Definitely.
for people who don't know, like, about your history, right? You actually grew up around hair culture.
Yeah, my mother owned a hair salon, and I would cut hair at her salon. Her barber was he liked to drink, so he would, not show up some days, and she would say, when you get out of school, you want to come by the shop and cut, and I'd be like, for real? No license. But I used to come to the shop and cut, then I would cut in the neighborhood, so I got a little too comfortable at the barber shop. And the rules are, I guess, that don't apply to me. Where we talked about the barbershop, stay in the barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
So I came home one day. I bought the chair, bought all the needed utensils, and said, you know what, I'll get cut at the crib from now on.
Wow.
So yeah.
Like, how long did it take people to find out that you was talking about the stories that was taking place in the barbershop? And like, how long did it take for that word to get back around?
No, what happened was I was in the barbershop and they were discussing music, and when I go places, I don't go places as RL. I'm just, I'm at the barbershop. So, Kat, I guess had been stalking me, and I didn't know, because I would always geotag where I was getting cut so I could bring more business to the shop, right? Mm-hmm. And we were talking about music, and I got comfortable, and I gave my opinion, not as an artist, but as a music fan. Because I was asked. The dude went on Facebook and misquoted me, and my name, of course, got clicks for him, and it was a bunch of people, downing me, and I was like, that ain't what happened. But I realized that I got too comfortable in a place that I grew up as a safe space. So I guess the rules don't apply to me, and I thought that they did. So I was like, you know what? I like to talk. I like to be comfortable. Like, you see, this is what I'm wearing. This is how I'm in gym clothes most of the day. I want to be comfortable and be relaxed, and I feel like a barber is a therapist. A barber is a counselor. So luckily, my barber just happens to be my friend. So I see him more than just when he comes in, because we might go eat or something like that. But I can be comfortable at the crib.
How did you and Trick meet?
I went to a shop when I first moved to Atlanta in 2006, and you're looking to see who got the hottest cuts. And the funny thing is, he was referred to me, or I was referred to him, I guess, however you want to say it. But the first time he was supposed to cut me, he stood me up.
Word? Yeah. And he knew it was you?
No, it didn't matter. The good thing about Trick is he's a humble dude, but he don't care who you are. He gonna give you the best service he can. He a gentleman, you know what I'm saying? So it just happened to be, he had a thing with time. You know what I mean? And I had a flight to catch, and we're like the opposite. I'm like military, because I grew up on an itinerary. Okay. So it's different for me, but we've come to a perfect medium. So when he'll tell me 8 or 8:30, I'll be like, okay, that's 9. But it's all love.
Yeah.
A lot of times he'll surprise me. I'll be like, wait, you on time? He'll be like, yeah, man. But I also have grown up in a shop, so I know that that's all dependent on the client, because if a client is late, that can mess up your time. If a client got a badass kid and you got to cut their hair and they moving, but you still want to give them, you can't say, I got to rush you because I got to go cut R. So I get it. I understand. He gives every single client the same respect he gives me. It doesn't matter who he cut. So
that's dope. Now, growing up in Minneapolis, the styles are regional. So like when you think about the 80s and 90s, East Coast, you hear a lot about, the hot top phase, all that. What kind of styles was people rocking back then that like really like popped and you're like, still stick in your head now?
Well, I remember my brother had got a flat top, and I was like, oh yeah, give me the Carl Lewis. I thought it was the same thing, and it ain't. It's like where it come up, right? So I was heated.
And it was a little bit of a Jerry curl situation with the Carl Lewis
but
too, right?
It was more so it came up. It was like, how the Gumby go to the side and fade up? It was the fade up from the back. So I remember I would go to my grandfather's barber. So back then it was just like, older guy, chair just like this, and yes sir, no sir. It was fades, but it really wasn't tapers like that. It was bald fades or the even Caesar joints. That was pretty much it.
Man, did you ever fall into the Jerry curl phase? Because I feel like most people.
My mother is a cosmetologist. We were her guinea pigs, and I remember my hair was so nappy it didn't take. The activator wasn't activating, so I don't have to Wave Nouveau, I don't have the S curl, I don't have the Carefree. I'm from the Midwest. I had it all. I had the curl on the top with the finger waves on the side for a hair show for my mother.
Word.
And she would say stuff like, "This how the white boys is wearing it." I'm like, "Nah, man. By the way, I ain't one of them anyway." But she would have me. She would just try stuff out. You know what I'm saying? And
Did y'all win?
you know what, she did win, so it's cool.
What's up?
It works. You know what I mean?
Yo, man, the crazy thing about the whole Jerry curl thing, like, yo, you will look fresh the second it's done.
But then when it dry up, it's over.
Yo, you're on the clock as soon as you walk out of that environment. And
Especially if it's humid. Especially down here, people would be like, "Well, I know they did it down south, but I know Midwest and LA and all that was more because it's so humid down here. You get a curl, you're gonna have to walk around with the spray."
Did you have the yellow bottle or the white?
I had the yellow with the burgundy kind of reddish writing
Jerry
on it.
curl.
Yeah.
I think the other one was like Sporting Waves or something.
Yeah, but I literally my mom had to keep the rollers in my hair overnight one time. It just wouldn't take. I don't know. She must have missed a step. But, man, these scabs in your head and all that.
Oh, when that thing starts stinging, like, that's when you know it's working, but it's also like probably like just cannibalizing the
It's
top
probably
of your scalp.
cancerous. You're probably like burning some type of cells in your brain or something. But, hey, we didn't know back then.
I feel like there's a class action lawsuit that anybody that in the 80s, 90s, or I think it stopped by 89. Maybe 2 people had a Jerry.
Yeah, no, my group member's mother. Well, maybe she might have just got rid of it, but she had a Jerry curl. I think the last time I saw her, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, my grandmother was one of those ones too, like to the very I think that they just had to stop selling it locally in order for her to just stop doing that.
They probably sell it because I've been watching videos of like dudes in Asia, like Asian cats, like trying to get curls and nappy hair and stuff. So they're using something like they really be trying to have like nappy hair. I'm like, why?
I mean, we set the trends for the world, man. You know.
Yeah, I love all our trends. One thing I hated is I had the coarse hair in comparison to like my brother and my sister. It was different. She had thicker hair, but my brother had a I can't say better because I guess you're not supposed to say that, but he had a different grade of hair than me. Mm-hmm. So,
does he still have is
Yeah.
it still like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, when you think about, far and large, like things that super worked, like your favorite styles that you wore.
Okay.
Like whether it be high school era, like going through college. Did you do college at all? Or
It's funny. I graduated high school a half a year early and was in college, but then my group member crashed my car, so I had no way to get there anymore.
Damn.
So yeah, I was taking African American Lit at the University of Minnesota my senior year. I finished early. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but then music took off really fast. So,
These are good problems.
I think so.
What was your go-to cut or style back then?
I can't really say back then because it was, we was getting cut on the porch. I was going to the barber college because I ain't have it like that. You know what I'm saying? Or I was cutting myself. But I know Trick would probably say the low taper and then the goatee. I switched it up because my dad recently passed from cancer, but when he was going through his chemo, I cut my hair off for him. And they warned me. They said, yo, when you cut it off, it ain't going to grow back as fast. You're getting a little up there. It ain't going to, and it hasn't. But the funny thing is it's so much easier now. And I just keep the beard. I've been debating to go back to just the goatee because that's what I'm known for. But I'm like, if I ain't got hair here like that,
Gotta have it somewhere. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I originally cut. I had probably 6 months ago. I had like the fro. You know what I'm saying? But cut it off, and I was like, wait a minute, it started growing back patchy. I was like, stay warmy. But it was for a good cause, so I ain't even tripping.
Now I got arrogant, so I had dreads. I was like, they'll grow back. Let me refresh everything. And it's like, yo, why is it not all growing at the same time?
I was like, wait a minute. And then they're like, well, if you just be patient. I'm like, I can't be out here looking like Sherman Hemsley waiting for it to come back. I just keep it low. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm cool.
Man, so being who you are and what your music does for people and just the sex symbolness of it all, right? How much pressure is it on you to maintain a certain look just so people could see that guy that they like to see,
Well, to be honest, my son is 29. He just had my first grandbaby, but my daughter is 8, right? I have another daughter due in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Which was a surprise for me, but God works in mysterious ways. But I can say that more than anything, what has always kept me going was trying to represent my group, my family, Minnesota, my community. So when I'm out and people see me, they don't just see RL from next. They see RL from Minnesota, Tony's and Bobby's son, Gaetano and Afton's brother, Rory and Charles' dad. You know what I mean? So for me, I've always said, like right now, we're in my barbershop, but my gym is right over there. I got the infrared sauna, I got the Peloton bike, Peloton tread, the hydro, treadmill. I mean, I'm trying to do everything I can to be the best version of me because God gave me a gift and I feel like I'm going to do something with it. It ain't just the voice. It's about how I talk to people, how articulate I am, how I interact with cats, how, when people come away from my show, how they feel, did I give a good performance, how I look, how I dress. All that stuff has mattered to me. It's also partially I grew up with low self-esteem. I tried to kill myself my senior year in high school. But when God gave me the chance to live and gave me my dream, I'm like, I'm not messing that up. I'm gonna work as hard as I can for as long as I can to be as good as I can. And that's what we doing.
Yo, man. I mean, for one, thank you so much for sharing your gifts
for
with the
sure.
world.
I appreciate you.
And also being so transparent because there's a lot of people who go through dark phases and some of them let the darkness overcome them.
Mm-hmm.
How did you overcome your patch of tough times that you were going through?
I don't have a lot of friends, but the few people that I have around me do pour into me. The issue was a lot of the people that was close to me, whether it was people, relatives, or people I thought were my friends, would take advantage or do me dirty. And I would always, the hardest thing for me is when you have the best intentions and get the worst results.
Wow.
So when that happens, that cuts different, it cuts deeper. And that's happened to me quite a bit. But then I look back and I reflect and I'm like, you know what? I can't stop being as giving as I am. I can't stop being the person that God made me because he always gives it back to me tenfold. So I literally had a friend a year ago embezzled $300,000 from me. Somebody I grew up with in Minnesota, went to school. I know his wife, his kids call me Uncle R. They've been to my house. I've given them clothes and gifts and things like that have happened to me. But then I look around and I go, I remember I moved to Atlanta and I lost everything. My account took everything I owned. I was living like a drug dealer, money under the mattress. I'm talking about everything got levied out of my accounts and I got it back. I more than got it back. So I have to be thankful, even though I've been in situations where I've been too giving, too generous, taken advantage of. God see me. I mean, y'all here, like literally I was getting some Jamaican food off the street. I saw an old friend and he mentioned you. I was like, oh, for real? Come by the house. Let's do.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Reef, man.
Yeah, so when things like God puts you in positions, no matter what, he sees what others don't see. So I'm just happy. I'm about to get a cut, be fresh, travel home tomorrow, go see my Timberwolves play. These are the kind of things that I have to remind myself of because I can't focus on what didn't go right or what I don't have or I'm not as big as I should be or I didn't get, man, God is good, man.
Well, dap on that, man, for real, for real. Like, people have no idea how we as men often suffer in silence and they don't know the things that we deal with because, you just got to hold your chin up and just go out into the world and just act like everything's okay. And even this, the good energy you put in the world, I think before I even officially met you, I used to see you semi-regularly at the UPS store.
Yeah.
And you were always he doesn't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? But but you show love to everybody.
But the funny thing is I did. Of course I know. But
I just never
issue
saw.
Is, because that's my UPS. I go there, but I'm always talking to the people that work there because I always realize that they've been there all day and they're understaffed a lot.
Yeah.
And I know people are super rude to them. And I want to be accommodating and nice to them and let them know that they matter. Because a lot of times people forget that the person behind the counter is just a person and they're not necessarily the boss. They didn't say, oh, we're going to have 2 people working today and it's Christmas season for packages. It ain't their fault.
Yeah.
But you come in there and you rushing and you, and they're getting attitude. So I always just try to be like a little bit of sunshine to, cats that are invisible to most people.
No, that goes such a long way. You know what I mean? And even vicariously through that encounter, as I left that day, it's like, I must live in a really good neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we did okay out here. We did okay. Yo. So, do you remember the cut that changed your life? Like, what cut did you get when you ran into your first love?
Well, that's hard because I was just an happy-headed kid. I don't remember that. I remember my first grown man cut, and it was actually Trick that gave me my first grown man cut. And what I mean by that, I used to have my beard real thin because I didn't know it could be,
Full, yeah.
full. And he's like, let me just line it up and see. Man, he lined that joint up. I said, oh, we on some Billy D. We super grown out here. And I didn't go back to the chin strap ever again. So I keep it full. So that was, and I'm not just saying it because he here, but literally I didn't know it could be like that. You know what you know.
Right.
And I was open and trusted him to, let me just try something. If it don't work, I'll thin it out. And he did it. I said, okay. And it was on and cracking since then.
Now, Trick told us a story about a time where, like, he had off night.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
didn't deliver the goods.
Yeah.
And you had to rock a show wearing a hat.
New York nicked me.
I never heard it used as a verb before, but I get it, yo, for real. So what was it?
I think they was probably just all talking, having a good time in the barber shop, and that razor got me. It was right here too, right in the middle too, where you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like it was right there.
Like reverse widow's peak. Instead of it coming out, it went back a little bit.
And it scabbed up, and you could tell when he putting that little stuff on there to stop the bleeding, like you in a boxing match. And I was like,
cutting in.
And I'm not seeing because I'm not looking in the mirror. I'm like, uh-oh. And it's funny because I understand when you, I'm afraid now sometimes. He'll be lining me up and I'll be like, when he's doing the razor, I'm like, okay, let me be still. I don't want to, I don't want to get cut again. But it was just once. Everybody has an off night. I'm just somebody that came to one of my shows one day. I'm sure I was a little under the weather. And, I did my best. He did his best. And, we still here.
That's what's up, man. It just gives you another story for the war chest. You know what I'm saying? It's another something to go back to. Man, R&B, something very near and dear to your heart. You definitely made your mark in it. Continue to do great things. When you think about all the different eras that R&B is going through, whether it's areas that you participated in or not, what was your favorite pocket of time for the music?
There's two. There's probably the early to mid 80s because that time of listening to just my parents' music just influenced me so much. But then of course high school, you're talking Jodeci, Boys II Men, and even Mary J when she first came out, and all the great groups. Like 112 was my favorite group coming up, you know what I mean? And to be cool with them and be on the road with them is like an honor. Jagged too, I remember getting the first CD, I stole it out of a limo. It wasn't even out yet, but the limo driver was related to B. Cox, so I liked it so much, I'm like, I gotta have this. I never really looked at them as rivals, so that era of music was amazing to me. I like some of the music now, and I get to work with some of the artists, which is super fun. My cousin is Philip Bailey from Earth, Wind & Fire, so of course that kind of stuff is super impactful to me. But I remember listening to Phil Collins and my cousin. They had a record out that was like incredible. Easy Lover. Oh man, listen.
That video used to come on HBO. That's how good the video was. They would play it.
But I love Phil. I love Genesis too. So my dad loved jazz. My mother grew up with Prince, so I listened to everything.
Word. Now, when you think about like artists and their style, right? What group or what artist had just such a unique style of like just grooming and all that?
Probably it was Stokely, who I love. Mint Condition. I always think about home. He always had he's bald now, but he had the crazy dread braid configuration type thing going on, and it was just fly. He was just super confident and fly with it. It was almost like he was half R&B, half Lenny Kravitz rock star, and it was just super dope to me. Sounds like you look at somebody and go, "That's dope." I couldn't pull it off, but that's cold.
Yeah. And
it looked like he kind of dyed it like a little reddish color, like it was like I don't know if it could be his real color, but I don't know. But it was just cold to me. Besides that, it's hard to say. Everybody has something, because I remember we came out, Clive had us in the French Connection slacks, and I hated it. So we was always jealous of 112 and Jagged, and they got to dress more urban and stuff like that, but we were so focused on us, we were just trying to be the best we could be.
Got you. When you think about like an era of style that you were in, that if you could just go like that and every picture of you in that style
Was
would
gone?
just go away.
It's this French Connection. They had us in suits and stuff, and that's why people thought we were way older. I was like 19, and they had me looking like I was about 26, and like I just got off work somewhere. And I'm like, yo, come on, man. Yeah, I mean, we used to beg, like, please don't make us wear this. And we would just straight up slacks with the little polka dot shirts with it open and all that. I'm like, come on, bro, we don't need to be doing this.
Do you think it's because Clive just wanted to see you guys wearing that stuff?
I think he was trying to differentiate us between our label mates, which was, they were on Bad Boy, but they was part of Arista 112. But we were like, man, we really from the hood. My group members from Gary, Indiana.
Right.
I'm from the north side of Minneapolis. We wanted to dress how we really dress. And it took a long time for them to finally go, okay.
We trust you guys. Y'all do y'all thing.
We sold enough records where they didn't really have a choice. It was like, nah, we not doing this.
It's crazy how conversation changes once you make people some money, right? Oh man, so when you think about the present, the future, and beyond, where's RL going?
I want to release more music. Lately, I've been behind the scenes. I just did Shamia's whole EP with my partner B Flat. She's on Housewives, and she's super talented. We did, everything came full circle. We were able to do Ann Nesby's whole album.
Dope.
So we did that. That's like climbing the charts. She's my group member's godmom, but we were local kids singing in her living room in Minneapolis when she was in Sounds of Blackness. So going full circle with that. And lastly, we're working on the Sexed project, which is Silk and Next.
Okay.
So yeah.
Y'all gonna have a lot of people having babies that shouldn't.
Right.
That's gonna be like, man.
So yeah, I've been behind the scenes for a while, writing for a lot of people and getting my projects and stuff like that together. I just love making music, man. I love creating. Luckily, I'm blessed enough to not have to do things for money.
Mm-hmm.
My catalog allows me to get residuals and continue to live pretty comfortably. So I get to do it because I want to and because I love it.
That's love right there.
Yeah.
Yo, real quick, one more Minneapolis thing.
Okay.
Another notable name that comes from your great city.
Okay.
The one and only Prince Rogers
Oh
Nelson.
yeah, my mother grew up with Prince, and I met him one time in 6 Degrees of Separation. He's kind of the reason that we got our record deal, in a sense of, I met him after we had come out, but my group members were at the mall getting wardrobe. We were opening for Aaliyah, a Glam Slam, which is Prince's club, on a Friday.
Okay.
This is Friday during the day. There's supposed to be a sound check. They're running late. They're going probably getting us some glasses from the kiosk at the mall and some Jinko jeans from Merry-Go-Round or something.
Okay.
And I'm at sound check. They're not there. They run into KG from Naughty by Nature. He gives them information. They switch information. They give our demo tape, which we had done at Flight Time, Jimmy Terry's studio. We would sneak out there because Lance and Prof T from the group Low Key were sneaking us to the studio recording us.
They're from Minneapolis.
No, they're from Kansas City. But
Okay.
but Jimmy and Terry, of course, Minneapolis. So
Okay.
they finally come to the performance. We do the show. They're like, we got tickets for Naughty by Nature concert tomorrow at First Avenue.
Okay.
So we go to, first we had Glam Slam. Saturday we at First Avenue. They had given our demo out. We wasn't supposed to. Well, after the show, Brother Jules, who was the DJ for New Power Generation and was also like a big brother to us, goes on a tour bus, and KG is like, yo, I'm redoing my label. We had Jeanne, which was real successful. I'm looking for artists. Who's the hottest artist in the city? Brother Jules looks down and sees our demo and says, that's all you need to know.
Wow.
K picks it up, puts it in his pocket. Rest is history.
Yo, man, God has opened so many, just random happenstances and
Yeah.
things. Listen, like, you're a blessing to be a blessing to others. And, I wish you continue success
Thank
on
you, brother.
everything, man. And, keep inspiring others. If there's anything that you wanted to say to the future generations, not only as it relates to just self-perseverance and maintaining style, what would you say?
That's hard because there's so many voices now, and with the internet and so much going on, and so many people trying to tell you what to do or how to be, how to act, what to wear. And all I can say is keep God first. Listen to your parents if they're present, or whoever it is that's in your life that has shown you that they're responsible enough and somebody that you can look up to that's respectable. Listen to them. I continue to evolve and grow because I listen to people. And I appreciate even the smallest advice that I get from somebody. I don't look at somebody and go, I'm more successful than you, or I have more than you. There's nothing you can tell me. You can learn a lot from anybody that you run into, anybody you meet. Just be open to knowledge from the most minute place, because you never know where your blessing lies.
Gets no realer than that, man. RL, thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, man.
Got some cutting to do. Here we go. From soul songs to clean lines, RL reminded us today that self-care isn't just about how you look, it's about how you feel. Groomed for greatness, no doubt.